show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, has become a national obsession with 29 million people tuning in every time it's on. And with that many people watching each show, contestants find that after just one night in the hot seat, their lives can change forever.
For $125,000, which of these American westerns is not a remake of a Japanese film? The Magnificent Seven, The Outrage, High Noon, A Fistful of Dollars.
I'm gonna actually stop.
Are you really?
I am.
Well, I tell you what, then, is that your final decision?
That's my final decision.
You want to end at $64,000? Fine. Tell you what, let's...
Winning $64,000 is a feat unto itself, but after appearing on the show last week, Brad Herzog found his jackpot was still to come. Brad, good to see you. Welcome to today.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get to this extra jackpot, how'd you get on the show in the first place?
It's a long, difficult process. About 250,000 people a day call in, and you have to answer 3 trivia questions, and then get a random phone call and answer 5 trivia questions, and it's really difficult to get on the show.
Were you nervous during the actual question answering?
I was terrified. I mean, I had a full head of hair when I walked in the studio.
You know that during the show, Regis talks to contestants. He kind of just goes through a couple of things about their personal lives to give us a better sense. So, as nervous as you were, had you prepared something to say during that little exchange?
I was really, not really. I was too nervous. I couldn't, they fed us 3 meals that day. I had about half a slice of bread, and I was really too nervous to think about things like that. I went on that show to win $1 million. I didn't go, to plug my book.
Now let's talk about that part of the jackpot, because when one of those exchanges took place and Regis was asking you about yourself, you were able to say that you were an author, and you went a little further. Let's listen.
Now, you've also written a couple of books along the way, right?
I have.
What's the latest one?
My latest is a book called States of Mind. Amy and I basically realized that we wanted to enjoy youth while young enough, so a few years ago, we liquidated most of our assets and bought a 34-foot Winnebago and traveled around the country for 11 months. And I wrote a book about 18 small towns that are each states of mind, like Harmony, California, and Wisdom, Montana, and Pride, Alabama.
And is there much difference in these small towns?
They're all different, and every town in this country must have a fascinating story behind it, because they're all just fascinating stories, and we're basically searching for those virtues in those towns. Is there honor in Honor, Michigan, and that kind of thing. I mean, it's a great way to see the country, because you drive everywhere and you see everything. It's a great view.
And if you can't do it, might as well buy the book. States of Mind, right?
That's true, yeah.
And get a look at America.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
He said a mouthful, because this went beyond a little biographical information into a shameless plug for this book, Brad. Did you have any idea what kind of reaction you'd get from mentioning the title of that book on the air?
I had no clue. I mean, of course any author would love to describe their book to 29 million people, but I had no clue.
This book is something that you actually talked to people here at the Today Show about last year and pitched it to us, and for some unknown reason, and by the way, that person no longer works here, we passed on it. At the time of the show, the Millionaire show, where was it on the Amazon list?
Well, I had even stopped looking because it was such a depressingly low number that, it's not very good for an author's ego. But I decided before I went on the show, I just may as well look just in case. And it was, last I saw, it was 122,040th.
And sold about how many copies over the course of the 10 months since it's been out?
It had been, a few thousand copies.
And then what happened in the day after you mentioned the title on the air?
Well, I checked about 2 hours after the show aired on the West Coast, and it said that I was number 50, and I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was like a computer glitch or something, and then an hour later it was 24. It was updated hourly. The next morning I started getting emails and phone calls from friends saying, it's 18, it's 13, now it's 11, and it went all the way up to number
Passing
7.
Stephen King,
yeah.
Passing John Grisham's latest book, you go up to number 7?
Go figure.
What does your publishing company think of all this? It's a fairly small firm, isn't it?
It's a very small company. They're John F. Blair in North Carolina, and they, I am so grateful to them, because so many, about 20 publishing houses, the big New York ones, passed on it, just like the Today Show did, and this little publishing house took a chance on it, and they're very excited about it.
I want to mention a little irony here. You've also written a screenplay that's about a kind of guy who comes up with a screenplay that doesn't exist and talks about it simply by creating buzz. It becomes very popular. You're getting an idea now of what the publicity machine can do. It must be strange for you.
Yeah, my screenplay I've written with a friend of mine, we just recently finished it. It's called Spin Art. And it's
Here you go again. Look at you.
Yeah. It's basically about the art of spin and the influence of buzz and word of mouth. And it's basically about a guy who sees a little window of opportunity and creates a little germ of a buzz, and it just spirals, the publicity machine just spirals into a frenzy. And I'm basically living my screenplay, my life is imitating spin art. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, we're glad things are working out for you. Again, the book is called States of Mind, and you can find it on Amazon. See if we can push that baby up to #1. Brad Herzog, great to see you.
Thank you.
It's 8:53. If you'd like to read an excerpt from States of Mind, you can log on to our website at today.msnbc.com. We're back in a moment, but first, this is Today on NBC.